Hey everybody, so today I am here to review the Nuna Rava Convertible car seat for you guys. This is a car seat that we've been using over a year with our 3.5-year-old daughter Sophie, and I just felt like it was finally time to give you guys my thoughts and opinions. I've been meaning to do this for a while, but obviously since she uses it, it's kind of hard to manage to make a video around something that we use almost every single day. So I am finally here to do it. I have details about the car seat and then specifications like limitations and stuff like that, and then I'm going to pan you guys to a shot of the car seat going over all the different features that it has, and then we'll pan back to me sitting here and I'll give you guys my thoughts and opinions and whether or not I would recommend it. Before I get into the review, I did want to mention that anybody can view, download, or even print off the owner's manual for this car seat, and I'll have the link for that down below. It's just a great place to turn if you have specific questions about the car seat, because Nuna is very thorough in their owner's manual. And I also wanted to mention I would take a look at their store locator. If you go to their website, and I'll have a link to this down below as well, it'll locate the store nearest to you that carries these car seats. That way you could go there, maybe test them out. Me personally, the closest one to us was located at this baby boutique, so I just called them up, asked if I would be able to try it in my car, see if it fit, all that good stuff. And they said, yeah, of course, no problem. So it was really nice for me to go and see the Nuna in person, work with it a little bit. You could even take your toddler if you wanted to, but we did it without kids. And that way you can see in real life if it's going to fit in your car, or any questions that you might have about it. And paired with that owner's manual, it'll be amazing. I just wanted to be sure to mention that because it was a huge help in us deciding whether or not to purchase it. So now I'm going to move on to the details about this car seat. So for cost, it does retail for about $450. I will say that we got ours off of Albeebaby.com. If you have been around for a while, you know that website does not sound new to you. I love Albeebaby because they do give out coupons quite regularly. It's normally the first 3 letters of the month followed by 20, and you can get 20% off. It doesn't always work on everything, but it did work on the Nuna Rava when we got it. So we got 20% off, so that was a significant amount off of $450. So if you're not worried about buying it in store somewhere, I would definitely recommend Albeebaby. I've used it for 3 car seats now, and I have absolutely no complaints. Great company, love the website. That kind of leads me into where you can find these car seats, and basically it's at a select few stores. There's Dillard's, Nordstrom, baby boutiques. Like I said, Albeebaby.com also has it. I'll have all of them linked down below. I feel like I saw it also on Pottery Barn, just kind of higher end places because it is a higher end car seat. Of course, you can also find it on Nuna's website as well, and it does come in 5 colors. I'm just going to scoot over here so I can show you pictures of all the different colors, but it comes in a black gray color, and then a all black, and then a navy, and then kind of like a burnt red, and then also a plum color. So on to the specifications about the car seat. There is 2 different installations available depending on your child's weight and depending if they're forward facing or rear facing, but you do have the option between the latch system or a seatbelt install. So on to the limitations. You can rear face from 5 pounds to 50 pounds, although it does advocate in the owner's manual to try and use that until at least 2 years old. Obviously, if your child is over the weight or height requirements, that's not going to be doable for you, but I did want to throw it out there because in the United States, in most states, it is now advocated that you try to rear face until at least 2 years old. For forward facing, you can forward face from 25 pounds to 65 pounds. The height requirement for the car seat as a whole is 49 inches, and you can use their infant insert from 5 pounds to 11 pounds. So that is all for the details and specifications for the car seat. I'm now going to pan you guys to a shot to show you all the different features that the car seat has to offer. So this is an overview of the Nuna Rava. I'm just going to show you guys from top to bottom all the different features that it has. And I also want to mention that our Nuna is in the color slate. So starting right at the top, this is where you have your little lever to adjust the headrest all the way up or all the way down, just depending on whatever fits your child for whatever position they may be in. But this is really easy to use. It's a non-rethread harness. Basically, moving this headrest is going to place the straps where they need to be. And forward facing and rear facing have different placement, so you want to make sure that you read the owner's manual to know where the straps need to lie when it comes to your child. It actually does have this little graphic over here that you can see, but it is more detailed in the manual, but it's there for you to check on every time that they're in the seat. And then over here on the side is where we have the side impact pods. These can be pressed in or out. So this would be in, and then you just pull it out and they pop out just like that. So these stay out every single time that we're in the car. We really don't mess with these. Once we popped them out, they just kind of stayed out, but you do have the option of pressing them in, but I don't really see any benefit of keeping them in. I would pop them out if you're going to use the car seat. So over here on each side of the car seat, you're going to have a buckle holder. Basically what you can do is once your straps are loose and you're ready to put them away, you take the bottom part of your buckle right here and you just slip it down inside. So that way it's going to hold the buckles in place and away from the inside of the car seat. So speaking of the straps, they do have their own pads. There are shoulder pads up here that are completely removable by Velcro, just like that. And there's also hip straps down here on either side that are completely the same as far as the Velcro go. There's also an insert up here that you can use. It attaches behind here. If you're wondering, if you take this out and for some reason you need to put it back in, you just go ahead and you fold it behind this slip in the fabric right here, but you can take that out. I don't think that we've actually ever used it. And then this insert is only for infants between 5 to 11 pounds. After 11 pounds, you have to take it out. It's really simple. It's just like really any other infant insert in a car seat. It comes out pretty simple and easy. So that's what it looks like as far as the infant insert goes. And this is basically what the car seat looks like when our daughter Sophie uses it, who is now 3.5 years old. Down here on either side is where you're going to find your cup holders. Now these have to stay out if you do the seatbelt install. Once you have the install correctly, you might be able to push them down like this and kind of just have them hang there, but they are not actually able to like close up and go back in. So for the most part, these do kind of stay out with us. They are made of this kind of plasticky material. If you're patient, you could pop them correctly back in and you could put them in if you're using the latch system. However, for us, that's always just kind of wonky. We don't really use them, so we just try to keep them pushed down and out of the way as much as possible. But you do have one on either side here, so you do have 2 cup holders and you can push them down just like that. And that brings us to the calf support right under here. This is basically for children who are a little bit older to help them with calf support, whether they're rear facing or forward facing. You just pull it down and then you pull it up. It doesn't look like a whole lot, but it's there. And then if you push it back, that's what it looks like. For Sophie, we do keep it out just because it is a little extra room for her because she is 3.5 and rear facing, but it's all about you and your child. And then to get it back down, you just have to stick your hand under there, wedge it, and pull it forward. And as you could hear, it did lock into place, so it's nice and sturdy. And like I said, just pull it down and then you push it all the way back and it'll snap back into place. That brings me to the tension plates and the latch storage for this car seat. To get to there, you're going to take this, lift it up. There is going to be 2 little buckles on either side of this back piece that you'll have to undo, but mine are already undone. And you just pull this forward. You can pull it forward quite a bit, as you can see, and you can even take your crotch buckle out and you can pull it all the way off. So that's what the inside looks like. So up here is the tension plate that you will open and use if you are installing forward facing with a seat belt. And then this is the tension plate that you would open and use if you are installing with the seat belt and rear facing. And the crotch strap is also adjustable. You just push and slide this thing. It's not the easiest. To open these tension plates, it's pretty easy. You just press it open just like that and you would install your seat belt and you press it down. Same goes with this one for rear facing. You just lift it up. And underneath here is where that latch storage system is, if you can see down inside there. So we have the latches tucked away down inside. They have their own little space there. You want to make sure that when they are down there, that all the straps are out of the way of the door and out of the path of the seatbelt that you need to take for the seatbelt install. So that is below the rear facing one, and like I said, you just push that closed once you have your seatbelt install done. But that is basically everything that's underneath the back plate here. Right down here is the tightening belt. So once you have your straps locked into place and everything's good to go, you can just go ahead, give this a pull, and it's going to tighten your straps. You press this little gray button here and you keep it pressed, and you can pull out your straps as well to give it slack. So right down here underneath the cup holder that I have tucked away now is your recline position indicator. And the blue is going to be for rear facing, and then the red is for forward facing. There's different options for each, and you basically just press this button and you can recline the car seat to whatever you need. It is really smooth, it's really easy. I just messed up that first part because I was trying to see what I was doing in my camera. But it's really smooth and simple. Obviously you want to put the recline on whatever, you know, facing your child's doing. So you don't want to pick forward facing if you're rear facing. You wouldn't want to be in the blue if you're supposed to be in the red. They make that all very clear down here. They have a lot of stuff to read on here that's in the manual, like I said. And speaking of the manual, that brings us to the back of the car seat. Right down here is where they have a little spot for you to keep your owner's manual. We actually have it open to an install page, but you can keep it right down here. I find it to be really nice because car seat manuals is something that I do lose quite often, so I appreciate the little space to keep it where it's supposed to be. And then lastly for features is the tether strap back here. It does have a strap cover, which is keeping all of the slack for this thing in place. So if you're not using the tether strap, I would highly recommend keeping this cover on. But this is something you're going to use if you're forward facing. It is kept out of the way. It's nice and taut. And like I said, we don't really use it, and it is put away for the time being. So that is everything as far as features wise goes with the Nuna Rava. Now I'm just going to pan you guys back to a shot of me talking about my thoughts and opinions. So now on to my thoughts and my opinions and whether or not I would recommend it to you guys. So first I'm going to start off with the things that I like, that I don't like, and then finally I'll give you guys what I think about the car seat as a whole at the end of that. But to start off, this is my favorite car seat by far to install. I have installed quite a few, and even in car seat shopping I installed even more. However, this car seat hands down is the easiest, and I'll get to that in just a second. The car seat is much more narrow, and it's also smaller than the other car seat that we have. The other brand that we have, it is wide, it's bulky, and I just really wanted more room in my car. It's very streamlined, it looks modern, it looks nice. The fabric is memory foam, but it's not super thick, so I feel like it is relatively breathable. And I just, as a whole, really loved the look and the aesthetic of the car seat. And I also want to mention that the headrest is super easy to use. I've had quite a few different car seats where the non-rethread harness and moving that headrest up and down, it's a little wonky. You have to pull hard, you have to press hard, you've got to search for it to lock into position. Not with the Nuna. The Nuna has very clear different ones that you can choose from. You're not like wiggling around to try and slip it and lock it in or anything. And it's also really easy to press and move up and down. It just doesn't give me a hard time, which is awesome. I will say that the cup holders on this thing are absolutely annoying. I hate the fact that to have the seatbelt installed that you have to have them up, and in my personal opinion I just wish they were in a different spot. I don't know why it needs to have two cup holders. That's also a little weird to me, and I just really don't like them. Personally, as a choice, we don't allow the kids to drink or eat in the car seat, so we never utilize really the cup holders ever. So they just kind of sit there. Thankfully, because of what they're made out of, we are able to like smush them down after we install them as much as you can, and they are out of the way for the most part, but still it just is kind of annoying. I wish they were either removable or they were just out of the way for the seatbelt install so we could have them pushed away at all times. Something I wasn't really expecting, but I did notice, is that the seat belts will get twisty if you don't use the buckle holders. Now, in a different car seat brand that we have, it has something to basically pull the seat belts away to hold them there, and it stays straight all the time because it is being held open. You don't really have to like fuss around with it at all. However, with the Nuna Rava, it's not holding the straps away. It just gets left sunk down in there. And then when you put your child in on top of it, if you're not careful and you make sure that those straps are straight, which you should be doing anyways, but if you're not very conscious of that, it is very easy for those seat belts to get twisted around and not be in the right directions and stuff like that. It does get cut down if you use the buckle holders because you just want to make sure that the belt is straight before you stick it in the buckle holder. But if you do that, I noticed I don't have nearly as hard of a time with it. You still want to check though. Make sure every single time you're putting your child in the car seat that those seat belts are straight and they're exactly where they're supposed to be, how they're supposed to be, because that's crucial when you're buckling your kids up. But I did want to mention it because it was different than our experience with other car seats. This next thing I am trying not to be melodramatic about, but honestly, taking this car seat cover off and on is one of the most annoying things I think I've ever done in my life. Because this car seat cover doesn't have a zip, it actually has basically like a little notch around the entire perimeter of the car seat, and you have to sink, fold, and kind of push things into place in there for it all to fit right. It can be so annoying to have to take this thing on and off, especially when Sophie was still in diapers when we started using it, and she would have an accident or a blowout or a leak or something like that every once in a while, and you had to wash it. You know, you can't just leave urine or whatever might be spilt in there, you need to wash it. And for me, it was so annoying. Getting it off is semi-annoying, but then once you get like a little bit going, it'll all come off, so that's fine. But getting it back on, it is by far the hardest car seat cover I've ever put back on. It's just the way certain things need to fold or certain areas that you need to do first. I'm not going to sit here and show you how to put it on and off or how to install the car seat. I just don't feel right doing that. Just make sure you're reading the owner's manual to make sure you're doing everything correctly. However, it's just really hard. I wish there was some kind of zipper and it was easier because it does take quite a bit of time. Normally my husband has to help me, or maybe even do it all together if I've completely gotten annoyed by it. But with that, I did want to mention something that we found that helped a lot if your child is in diapers or leaking or even potty training. Something we discovered with Sophie when we were potty training her is we used puppy pee pads to sit down in the car seat. That way it would prevent leaking through to the car seat, so we didn't have to wash it and take it off constantly, and they worked so great. The puppy pads are thin enough to where it doesn't affect putting your child in and the installation, making sure the straps and everything are fine. It's not going to mess with that. However, it was thick enough to where it didn't go through to the other side of the car seat, so it was a win-win for everybody. So in conclusion, I did want to say that the things that annoy me about this car seat are so minor in what the car seat gives. This car seat has two main features that goes above and beyond, and is the reason why for children to follow, the Nuna Rava will be the convertible car seat that we continue to purchase. That is the higher rear facing limits and also the super easy yet super secure seatbelt install. I briefly mentioned that earlier, but when we first got this car seat, I didn't realize how close Sophie was to outweighing the latch system, so we were going to have to use the seatbelt install. And when I thought about that, I was terrified. I've tried to put other car seats in using a seatbelt install, and it is absolutely maddening. Like, so difficult. I don't understand how people do it on a regular basis. However, that's not the case with the Rava. It is super simple yet so secure. There's going to be a couple times that you're going to have to run through it and it's going to seem like a lot, but once you've installed it once or twice, honestly, both Mark and I, and even like my mom, people can install it and feel really comfortable in it. Like, it feels so secure and it's so easy to do. That whole tension plate is just brilliant. So I love the seatbelt install. It's easy, and honestly at this point, because we do have one car seat now that uses the latch system and another that uses the seatbelt install, I prefer installing Sophie's. I'm not searching over each side trying to find the latch system underneath. It's just really simple for me. So I absolutely love that. And like I said, it's easy enough for other people to understand and other people to do. You just need the strength enough to push that tension plate down and you're good to go. And like I mentioned, the other thing we were sold on was the rear facing limits being increased. The other car seats that we had looked at or even are still using, they're not as high as the Rava, and it might be just 5 pounds extra on different car seats. However, that 5 pounds is quite a bit. You know, toddlers don't grow nearly as fast as what infants do, so you can really get a lengthy amount of time out of 5 pounds. So we have a 3.5-year-old who will probably be rear facing until she's 4, and I am so thrilled about that. That is something that I've wanted to do, obviously as long as she stayed under the limits of it. However, with this Rava, I think it's going to be more than doable. Just as a family, it means a lot to us for our girls to be able to rear face longer. So because of the increased limits and the easy and secure seatbelt install, we are sold on the Rava 110%. Like I said, I do feel like it has a couple things here and there that are annoying, but no car seat, no product ever is 100% perfect. There's always going to be a little something that everybody doesn't like, and that's fine. But I think that what the car seat offer greatly exceeds any kind of little annoyance I might have with it, and I totally recommend it. I know car seats are an investment, especially this one, because it is expensive. That's why I highly recommend you check out Albeebaby. You get a coupon, or, you know, I'm not really sure if Nordstrom and places like that have reward systems or not, and you could use points there, but I would look into that because it definitely is worth it. My girls are gonna be in their car seats for such a long time that it's worth it for me to spend that amount of money. I also want to mention that now that Sophie's 3.5, obviously she can vocalize to me whether or not she's comfortable or not, and she loves her car seat. I ask her all the time if she's comfortable, and she loves it. She's never had any complaints. She doesn't really have the issue that I've had some people comment about the legs and rear facing. All around, all of us really enjoy the Rava, whether it's installing or Sophie sitting in it. It's just been really great, and I would hands down recommend it any day. I will have all the links that I mentioned and links to purchase down below for you guys, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.